Hey, what's up YouTube? So we're back again, and this time we're showing you guys the new pickup. This is a 87 Toyota pickup, single cab short bed. It is 4x4, and it has well, you could already tell it's a pre-runner truck. It's caged from front to back, so I'm gonna be walking around showing you that. It has fiberglass up here in the front. The bed is the original bed, is just cut up. Let me start off right here, right in the front. So it has the tubular bumper, 2 fog lights. This is also fiberglass. It's already cracking though. And what else? So I don't know, they added like another little corner light right here. So it has Fox coilovers with King springs. We don't know exactly like all the details of the actual suspension, but I mean, you guys could tell it has tubular control arms. It has the long travel kit up here in the front from Total Chaos. Heavy duty tie rods. It has power steering. So you can see the cage where it ties into the front bumper, and the coilovers right here. Everything is tied in to the chassis, and it is 4x4. You can see the axle right there. The manual locking hubs. So it's been painted. This is not the original color, but they actually did like the door jambs and everything, and I guess it was painted like a couple of years ago. It doesn't look like it was recent, but I mean it's pretty cool. So this is where the cage comes in. It has a Mastercraft bucket seats, Mastercraft 5-point harness. You can see where you could disassemble the cage a couple of places, right here, here, and here. And it has a GT Grant steering wheel. Well, the dash has 252,000 miles, but the engine was rebuilt recently, and also the transmission. RPM gauge up here. Has this aftermarket shifter. Looks pretty cool. And it has the oil, the PSI, temp, volts, and fuel level. Now it has a pretty old school head unit. And this switch is for the fan, so it turns on with the ignition when the ignition is on. And it's actually a push start, so you have to push this button to turn it on. It has a cup holder like the one that we installed on the 85 Toyota pickup, and it's 5-speed. Oh, and also the door cards. I don't know if you guys, I don't think you guys could tell, but it has like some flames, like the designs of some flames coming up. It has 2 speakers, one on each side. These of course don't work because the cage goes all the way through. And then it has these rails down here. The bed was cut up, and I'll show you guys the back right now in a bit, but it was bashed right here, I guess, with the tires. These are 33s. They're a little old. You can see the cracks on them, so those are gonna have to be replaced. So you can see the cage comes out from the plexiglass, ties into the frame, and then everything else ties into that. And so these are the bed sides. They basically just cut them and put them onto these. And it has a rail up here that holds everything together as well. You could actually tow with it. It still has a tow hitch. I don't know if this little 4-cylinder is actually going to do it, but it's there just in case. It has 2 spares, this one and that one. These are smaller tires. These are by 9.5, 31. Oh, these are actually 33s by 9.5, and the ones on here are actually 33s by 10.5. So these are a little more narrow. What else? This is the newest thing that the previous owner did to it. This whole roof rack. The Fox coilovers with EBAC springs, 4-link. bump stops. I don't know the brand. The wiring is kind of neat, you know, it's just set to the side nicely. Oh, and it also has a hijack over there. I gotta show you guys. The antenna comes in through here. I mean, well, the antenna comes out through here. It's just zip tied right there. This is I think it's like a military, one of those military boxes, and the battery's actually in here. But this latch doesn't open, so you have to open all the other ones, and then this one you kind of have to like tilt the lid to the side to open it, and it's just the battery and like 2 quarts of oil in there. This is the side I already showed you. Oh, and also this is the plexiglass, so you can see where the cage comes in, and it's sealed. So these are for the fog lights up here, and these brackets hold these in place. And then the guy also gave us owner's manual, or a repair manual actually. And oh, and the seats also have rails, adjustable rails, so they slide forward and back a little bit. That seat, I don't know if you guys could tell, it feels, or even when you're driving, it feels like it's tilted forward a little bit too much. So we're thinking of pulling it out and actually, you know, adjusting a little bit back, maybe like half an inch to an inch. So, oh, and it has the 4x4 shifting instructions. Back here you can see that everything has been gutted, or at least most of it. So there isn't really much in there. So a couple of smaller things. We actually just picked up this truck last night, so first day driving it. It drives pretty cool. I mean, there's not many mechanical issues that we noticed. So the tube comes down here. We have to figure out a way to seal this a little bit. So underneath a little bit. Let me see. So that's the transfer case. And you can see the transmission. Got all the RTB hanging out. So it was recently replaced. The guy showed us the receipt. What else? It's pretty clean down here. I mean, you don't see any oil or anything. This is where it ties into the chassis, and then these rails also tie into the chassis back there and up here. There's the 4-link setup right there. So it's tied into this brace. The brace is tied into the chassis. It also has braided stainless steel brake lines. The engine was also rebuilt recently, well, not that long ago. You can see it's painted red. Now let me pull off the hood pins. This is one of the hardest things to remove from this truck, the actual hood, because of the pins. Where you have to put a little bit of grease right here. Well, at least that's what we did on the other truck that had a fiberglass hood, and it was a little bit easier to remove. So this is the engine. It's a 20R carbureted. Everything is stock except for the long tube headers. You can see them right there. And no AC, but it does have power steering. The complete drivetrain is stock. Even the brakes and everything else is stock. It was just basically the suspension and the cage was the main focus. Everything, as you can see, was cut out, so it's being held in by these square tubing. It drives good, no overheating or anything. I don't really know what we're gonna do with this pickup. We're thinking of daily driving it, so we'll start off. Our plans for it is just to get it in tip-top shape again. they wouldn't drive it much, so we just want to take care of the smaller stuff, like fix this wiring, you know, get the headlight to sit right, because this one's a little pushed in, not like that one. That one is actually a little more straight. Also, all these zip ties, you know, figure all this out. The wiring, you know, not redo it completely, but redo whatever needs to be redone and organize everything, like all these hoses, you know, make it look a little nicer in here. The paint, we're not 100% sure if we want to repaint it. We are thinking of getting rear fiberglass. We're not sure about that. What else? The wheels as well, we would like to replace these with, I don't want to say for sure, but we want to do beadlocks on all four and then 2 sand paddles. This cage has to come off though. It looks more like a rock crawler with this cage. We want more of the Prerunner look. For the interior, there isn't really much but the seats. The seats, we want to redo them. Like these screws, we want to like take them off and put rivet nuts and put like a nicer looking bolt in there and stuff like that, you know, just go over the whole truck. For example, this as well, cut it and relocate this a little further back. Also the battery box I want to show. Oh, also the license plate. This has to be removed from here. We're probably going to put it under the bumper or something, I'm not sure yet. The battery box also, push it a little more to the center of the truck, at least to clear this side of the this clamp. And what else? Possibly redo all these wires as well, you know, like the tape, put some heat shrink and stuff. And that's it. It runs good, it looks pretty good. So you're gonna see some of this truck getting done on the channel. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Yonke_OXC Films. I'll leave that in the description down below. And we'll catch you in the next one.